It is day 5 of our summer survival guide, and today we are talking about the sun. We are so lucky to live in the Sunshine State, of course, but it comes with risks. 1 in 5 of us will get skin cancer, and the cases of potentially deadly cancers like melanoma are on the rise. So how do we protect ourselves? Dermatologist Matthew Knight is here with us now. Dr. Knight, good morning to you.
Dr. Knight, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here with us this morning.
Sunscreen is the #1 protector, I would imagine you would say so, but not all sunblock is the same.
That's right. You know, there are 2 rays of the sun that we worry about. There's UVB, which is really high energy, and it gets into your skin very superficially. This is what the SPF number is about.
Okay.
UVA is a much longer wavelength. It goes deep in the skin, causes melanoma and wrinkles and sunspots. Unfortunately, the SPF number doesn't speak anything to UVB. So you have to look for sunscreen that says broad spectrum on it. It's really up to the consumer.
And I've seen that, but didn't really know what that meant. Here's the other thing that does confuse me, right? Because you've got SPF 30 and 50 and 100. What is the perfect number to buy?
Great question. I'll tell you that once you get above SPF 30, you're really not getting any more UVB protection, but you're getting a less balanced sunscreen, especially things like sprays that are aimed at kids. You're spraying it all around, you're inhaling it, it may not be good to do so. So I recommend that we look for an SPF 30 that's broad spectrum, and I really recommend an ingredient called zinc oxide. It's a very stable compound, it's an inert metal, it's safe, using nanotechnology, it's see-through and sheer, not like the old lifeguards used to use, and it's really great at protecting us from both UVA and UVB.
Good advice. What body parts do people neglect typically?
Well, us guys neglect all kinds of body parts. It's estimated
That's
that we
another
only...
story, but we're talking about sunscreen here. Go ahead.
Well, we only apply about 25% as much as we should on our bodies. You have to apply an entire shot glass. That's 1 ounce
Really? That's a
of
lot.
sunscreen. That's almost an entire container of
I don't know if you can get a
sunscreen
close-up of this, but
just
this is a
to cover
lot.
yourself. So men especially forget things like lips and ears, and you have to remember that it's not the sun you get today that's going to cause cancer tomorrow. It's 20, 30 years later, and the same thing's true with wrinkles. So you have to protect yourself today to keep from aging before your time or getting skin cancer in your 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Not this shot glass every time, every couple hours,
Yeah.
one shot?
So
Something else. I
15
would
minutes
never
before you
have
go
thought
out, and
that.
every 2 hours while you're in the sun, and if you sweat or you're in the pool, you have to
Gotta
do
do
it
it more.
again. And that's what most people forget to do.
So I want to ask you about people of color, because typically people of color think, well, I don't need to put on sunscreen because I've got natural sunscreen, right? I'm not going to burn, I'm not going to tan. Myth, or is that fact?
Well, I tell you, and there's some element of fact in that.
Okay.
And that melanin is a natural protector against ultraviolet A and B. Genetically, it's there to help protect folks from the rays of the sun. So it's true. People with darker skin types are not as susceptible to skin cancer as people from Northern European descent like myself, who are very susceptible to skin cancer. So it's all about playing it safe. If you know you're at risk, that means use your sunscreen, and later in life, go see the dermatologist to make sure you haven't fallen victim to some of the harms of the sun's rays here in Florida. Great question.
Sunscreen pills, do you recommend them?
So this is a new innovation. This is a plant extract called polypodium, which is from a fern in Central America that's been used for generations to protect against sunburn and other oxidative problems. Believe it or not, it works.
It
but
does.
here's the problem,
Okay.
is that people are relying on just
that.
this to protect themselves from the sun, which you cannot do. Remember that this is just a tool, as is sunscreen, in the fight against skin cancer and early aging. Rash guards, glasses,
All these
hats,
things here.
they're all super duper important here in the Sunshine State to protect ourselves from the sun's rays.
Broad spectrum, 30, zinc oxide.
Zinc oxide.
Great advice, my
What's
friend.
that?
Dr. Knight,
Thanks for
thank
coming
you.
in.
Appreciate
Thanks for
seeing
having
you.
me.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you for
being with
coming
us.
in.
Thanks for having me in.